There's a Norwegian proverb that says, "A hero is one who knows how to hang on for 1 minute longer." That's often the difference between those who make it and those who don't, or the people that stick with it long enough for success to present itself. Creating success is like a wrestling match, and at the end of the day, it's a game of endurance. And if you want to win, if you want to really see it through, you've got to be able to hang on for just that little bit longer. You've got to be able to go farther than other people. That's the only way that you're going to be able to get what you want in life. At the end of the day, the math of that just makes sense. If you let go, if you stop, you know there's no way that it's going to come to you by accident. Life is not a lottery. Life is what you create. It is quite literally what you make of it. But as Hans Selye says, it's not the stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. And when you're thinking about holding on and the stress that comes with that, when you're thinking about fighting and being in a wrestling match and locked in a battle to create something, what we think about is stress. We think about the pain, the difficulty. We think about whether or not we want to endure that thing. But it all comes down to how you frame it. It all comes down to how you think about it. And when you think about becoming that hero that you want to become, creating that thing that you want to create, in that moment, you've really got to ask yourself, how do you think of it? What's the frame of reference from which you approach it? And the people who really achieve success in their life, the one thing that they're able to do is really think about how powerful it is, how beautiful it is, the thing that they want, and that they can do it. That even if they're not the person they need to be yet, that they can become that person, that an obstacle is merely something that they'll learn from, that failure is merely a lesson, that pain is an instructor. That frame of reference around the suffering, around the stress. When you have that, when you have something that's empowering, it allows you to get back up. It allows you to build yourself, to grow from things, and really truly become capable of holding on for that 1 minute more, to become the hero that you want to become. But it was a process of building. It was a process of creating framework. It was a process of endurance. We all have to earn that endurance in our life. And so the question that you have to ask yourself right now, what are you doing to earn your endurance? And are you going to be able to hold on that 1 minute more? But at the end of the day, it's completely up to you. As Virginia Satir said, problems are not the problem. Coping is the problem. And I think that's the thing that really trips anyone up, is when you encounter a problem, the way that you react to it becomes an even bigger impediment than the original thing. It's the cascade of emotions that captures people off guard. It's the cascade of neurochemistry that people think that they have to react to, that feels so real that they can't imagine that that reaction is merely from one perspective, that it's not the only perspective. And in fact, if you shift the way that you're viewing what happened to you, you could have a totally different reaction. But people don't see that. And the reaction feels like the manifestation of truth. And that's how people get themselves caught up. That's why failure becomes something to be feared, because the failure feels negative. It feels like a loss. It feels like a death. Because it's the death of the ego. It's the death of the vision of yourself as capable of something. It's the death of your vision of yourself as perfect, as better than. But once you let go of that, once you're able to sidestep that and see the problem in a whole new light, to see the failure in a whole new light, you can have a breakthrough. And that's why Wendell Phillips said, what is defeat? Nothing but education. Nothing but the first steps towards something better. And when you can take that perspective, when you realize that the way that you look at the world will define everything about your existence, and that you choose, that it's literally a decision that you get to make, to choose the perspective from which you see something. So you can look at the failure as the death of something, as proof that you're not good enough, as proof that just like people have told you, you're not worthy. That's a perspective. And if you take it, you're going to see the truth of that. The truth of that will be laid bare before you. It will be evident for everyone to see, simply because you chose it. But if instead you choose to see that as a learning opportunity, as a chance to figure something out, to find out why you failed, to get better, to identify the lack in your skill set, and to fill that in through commitment, through practice, through discipline, to understand that what the human body and mind are designed to do is change. They're designed to get better. So suddenly the failure becomes instruction. It becomes education. And once you have that, then coping suddenly becomes very easy. It isn't the problem. The problem, in fact, becomes the solution. The failure becomes the thing that's going to teach. The failure is the instruction that you need to be great, to be worthy, to be better than people think you are. But it all comes down to your perspective. So, my friends, I beg of you, choose wisely.